Integration by parts may happen more than once. Okay, let's say we are going to evaluate the integral of x to the fourth cosine of x dx. You may think of using table, but we would like to use the original way of integration by parts and see what happens. That would be kind of old school. So we have algebraic part, we have trig part. Between these two, u will be x to the 4, the algebraic part, and cosine of x dx would be dv. So du will be 4x cubed dx, and integral of cosine of x is sine of x equals v. Maybe you would like to write it as integral of cosine of x dx equals integral of dv and then write the answer. That would be fine. But in here, we would write it as a summary. Okay, so following this, you would have uv, following the formula of integration by parts, that would be x to the 4 sine of x minus integral of v du. So 4x cubed sine of x dx. We know that we can bring out 4, so let's do it here. Sine of x minus 4, the integral of x cubed sine of x dx. Now we don't know what is the answer of this part. We're going to solve it separately. Let me do it here. So for the green part, we have x cubed, which is algebraic. That would be u. And we have sine of x, that would be trig, which is dv here. So it will be du equals 3x squared dx. And taking integral of sine, that would be cosine of x, but negative equals v. So we would have uv, which is negative x cubed cosine of x minus the integral of v, which is a negative, so it makes it positive, du. So 3x squared, I would like to bring 3 out right now. We don't know what is the answer of integral of x squared cosine of x. So we would continue solving this part separately. So in this part again, we have x squared as the algebraic part and cosine of x dx as dv. Taking derivative both sides here, we're left with du equals 2x dx, and the right side, which is integral, is sine of x equals v. So again, uv, which is x squared sine of x minus integral of v du. Let's bring out 2 here. So x sine of x dx here. Still, we don't know what is the integral of this part. So again, we would see we have x as algebraic part, and we have sine of x dx as dv. Taking derivative here, we're left with du equals dx, and taking integral, we're left with negative cosine of x equals v. So uv will be negative x cosine of x minus the integral of v, which is negative, so this would be positive dx. Now we can find the answer. This one would be negative x cosine of x plus sine of x. And it is enough just write 1c for all of them. Now, going backwards, it will be some other terms. So all together here. The first part, x to the 4 sine of x minus, let's say we have 4 here, then parentheses, instead of the green part, I would write the green answer here, which is negative x. Okay, let me write it in green. That would be interesting. Negative x cubed plus 3 times, instead of the pink one, we have x squared sine of x minus 2 times, instead of the brown part, we're having negative x cosine of x plus sine of x plus c. 1, 2, 3. Okay, again, here, it will be x to the 4th sine of x minus 4 times negative x cubed plus 3 times x squared sine of x plus 2x cosine of x minus 2 sine of x, and let's say 1c for all of them. Let's continue. That would be x to the 4th sine of x minus 4 times negative x cubed plus 3x squared sine of x plus 6x cosine of x minus 6 sine of x and plus c here. And lastly, x to the 4th sine of x. Now, multiplying negative 4, we would have plus 4x cubed so in here, we have a negative here. Okay, let's check it out. That would be negative here, so 3x squared, a negative here, that would be negative 12x squared sine of x minus 24x cosine of x plus 24 sine of x plus c.